Sylvia and me.
Sylvia and
Sylvia and me. Sylvia and
Sylvia. Sylvia and me.
Sylvia and me. Sylvia.
For a lot of families, I think the most impactful legacy are those small learning moments that they can build into their family's life. Um, they might not have a huge fortune to leave to their children, but I think their legacy can be one of kindness and treating people the right way and treating people how you'd like to be treated.
Hi, I'm Sylvia Beckerman, host of the podcast series Sylvia and Me, conversations with inspiring, empowering women.
Hi, I'm Amanda Bauer-Frisch. I'm a serial entrepreneur, and welcome to Sylvia and Me.
Amanda, thank you so much for being here with me today. And when you say a serial entrepreneur, we're talking about the fact that you didn't start this until during the pandemic. And they call you a visionary serial entrepreneur. I just listened to your TEDx talk that you did about a month ago. And it was, it wasn't that, it was impactful. That's the word I'm looking for. It was very impactful. And I want to talk about something before we get into your legacy companies, which the umbrella, the parent company is Enduring Legacy, and it all started out with a company called Small Legacies.
Correct.
And legacies is something that we think about. But before we get into that, I want to talk about something that is called participation trophies. And we always think of trophies going to people who won something.
Right.
And you look at it as something different, because it's not just about winning a competition, winning a game, winning the spelling bee, winning best dressed, whatever. You talk about participation trophy and one that you wanted to give yourself back in 2017 on your first day back to work. You're 5 months pregnant.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, in 2017, I had just returned to work after being off for a few weeks, and I was 5 months pregnant. And the reason I had been off for a few weeks is because my husband died unexpectedly. And I took a few weeks off to have the funeral and kind of put the initial pieces of my life back together. But that first day back to work, a coworker asked everyone to share what their 5-year plan for their life was. And he obviously forgot that it was going to be my first day back. And when it was my turn to share what my 5-year plan was, it was very scary at that time. I had no idea what my 5-year plan looked like. And getting out of bed and even just being at work, being in that meeting was a huge personal victory at that point in my life. And, I think a lot of times we hear of people talk about the fact that everyone is going through some kind of silent battle that you can't see. And that was definitely true for me. And I felt like I wanted the world to give me a participation trophy for just showing up and continuing to try after something so traumatic.
And that's it. Trying, doing, pushing yourself to do it. And maybe somebody else is not going to give you that trophy, but you get to give it to yourself.
Absolutely.
And that to me is so important, because we really don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
We take a look at when we go out to do something and we think that success, we want to succeed, we want to succeed, we want to succeed. And sometimes we fail. And
Absolutely.
the failures are not failures for so many because there's something to learn from. And when you pick yourself up and you get yourself going, you're participating.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
and kudos, because that's what life is all about.
Hmm. And
You got to get up again.
I think, it's human nature to think that, some overnight somebody becomes a sensation like Tom Brady or Michael Jordan or some of these big sports players. It's easy to think, oh, it was so easy for them. They just um, became a sensation overnight. And if you listen to even the best of the best, they'll tell you that the secret to their success is their failure and the fact that they're still willing to get up and try again after a failure. Um, so I always listen to those people when they say that kind of stuff because it motivates me um, to get up even after a tough day or after a failure.
One of the current young people where that happened to is the young gymnast,
Yes.
Simone Biles, who
Yes.
actually realized that she was having difficulty and she took time out. She left the Olympics and she has since come back.
Yes.
Most people don't realize what that takes, and there's a trophy there.
Mm-hmm.
So, lessons we learn along the way are very, very important. You started something, and it had to do with your son. You have three boys,
Yes.
and one of your boys, I think he was 6 or 7, if I'm not mistaken, uh, wanted to put some money away, and you were looking for a piggy bank.
Yes.
You didn't want to just put it into a plastic piggy bank. What were you looking for?
I wanted something that would look nice in his room, and I wanted something that would teach these entry level financial literacy skills that I knew were very important to my late husband. And I looked around online. I didn't see what I wanted for our house, and so I made one, and what was not intending for it to go anywhere beyond um, a nice little accessory for my son's room, but my I'm remarried and my husband encouraged me to list it online and sell my banks, and they blew up. I wasn't expecting that, and it definitely wasn't overnight, and it wasn't instant success either. There was a lot of trial and error on getting the right materials and shipping them the proper way, but it all kind of started from there.
And so, something that your late husband was very passionate about, you took that forward through your grief, and the journey turned into Small Legacies.
Absolutely. And
So, so go ahead.
I was gonna say, my oldest son was only not even quite 2 when his dad died, and I was pregnant with our middle son. So I felt like if there's one thing that I can teach these kids about their dad in heaven, it's that um, it's the financial literacy stuff. Like if there's one thing that I know he'll be proud of me for passing on to them, it's that. So that's really what sparked it.
Well, and Small Legacy, you were taking your late husband's, their father's legacy, his legacy, and moving it forward.
Yes,
So you've since built that. That was an Etsy store, which, as you said, took time, but that started during the pandemic.
correct.
So we're talking that's 2020. We're in the early stages of 2024. And since then, you've been very focused on legacies.
Yes,
We usually think of a legacy as, passing down a business, passing down something, a fortune. What do you consider a legacy?
that is a great question. And those things you mentioned definitely can be legacies. But for a lot of families, I think the most impactful legacy are those small learning moments that they can build into their family's life. Um, they might not have a huge fortune to leave to their children, but I think their legacy can be one of kindness and treating people the right way and treating people how you'd like to be treated. Um, and I think those little education nuggets are really um, a more impactful legacy than even a bank account. That would be great too, but that's not realistic for everybody. So,
Okay, so what we've decided and what is so true is that these legacies, they're not small legacies, they're impactful legacies. They could change a person's life, a
yes,
thought, a passion, um, what you've, taken and made into a business is passing the legacy of your late husband, whose name I believe was Adam,
correct. Yep.
um, passing it down to other families
Yes.
without even meaning to. His legacy is vibrant.
Yes. I take a lot
So,
of pride in that, definitely.
as you should, because one of the things that gets people into huge trouble is financial trouble, and children are not taught. A lot of children are not taught from the very beginning. We can go back to how women always used to leave that to the male to take care of their finances.
Right.
Unfortunately, that still holds true for a lot of people.
Yes.
But to instill that in young children is kudos to you to be able to do that. I
Thank
want
you.
to go back to, because again, it's a participation trophy. Look what these children have. Look what you've given them. So many people, years ago, it was you supposed to be your child's best friend and everyone should get a trophy
Hmm.
because they were there, but people didn't understand eh, what that meant. Somebody wanted to be the winner, and why should everyone get it for just being there?
Yeah.
And take a
I
look
think,
at what you've go ahead, take a look at what
yeah,
you've said,
I think, and that is a very common
Miss.
argument that you hear around participation trophies. And absolutely, there should be a winner. And I think the winners deserve to be celebrated in a unique way. Um, So maybe we need to call the participation trophy something else, but I think we need to recognize the effort and the participation of the people who didn't win, because the alternative is they just don't participate at all. And then what do you get? People just sitting at home doing nothing.
Which is the opposite of participation, and that's being absent,
Exactly.
which we'd get nowhere in life.
Exactly.
So tell me what the business Small Legacies turned into something else. As I said, you do have a parent company, Enduring Legacies. How did you go about doing that?
Yeah, so it kind of happened organically in that once we started and really started seeing success in Small Legacies, we realized that this financial literacy was not just a legacy that was close to my late husband. It's something that's close to a lot of families' hearts. And we wanted to figure out a way to help celebrate each individual family's story through that process, and not just our story. And there was another small business in Wisconsin that the husband and wife were ready to retire, and they're a woodworking company, which we are a woodworking company. And I should also mention my late husband Adam was a sheriff's deputy. Um, and this company is called Navy Paddles, and they make beautiful paddles made out of wood from Wisconsin that we engrave and customized and personalized for retirement gifts or military achievements, a lot of police and fire first responder gifts. So although my family doesn't have a military connection, I definitely understood the passion behind wanting to honor um, the military legacy and the police legacy that Adam was really passionate about as well. So we took over the operations of Navy paddles over the summer of 2023. Um, and then kind of by accident, there was one other small business based in our hometown in Wisconsin where the husband and wife were ready to retire. Um, it is a quilting store. And again, when ladies quilt and make these one of a kind gifts, they have the same intention. They're wanting to pass on a legacy through their quilting, and that's really what this store had already set itself up to be. And so we felt like, okay, we can come in here and serve this community as well. So that's how the business has expanded with another woodworking brand, and then now with our quilt shop. So
So somehow you've managed to balance the different ventures, all with your vision of what you want to, what you, what you want to get out there, what your vision is, what your, the impact that you are having on so many people. How did you make sure that that was there, and how do you continue to balance the different businesses?
um, I'm not sure. I will call you when I figure it out. It's honestly, it's a daily work in progress. And having young children, or having children of any age, I'm sure people know that it feels like each school year, each semester brings like a new change in the family's schedule and dynamic. And so it feels like it's just a constant balance of family needs and work needs. I will say that one thing I work really hard at is building our team so that they can help support all of um, whatever their role is within each organization. Um, but I wish I had just like a really easy answer because it's a work in progress.
If there were easy answers, everyone would do it.
Right, that's true.
So tell me how do your children feel about what you've been building?
Um, to be honest, they don't really know yet. They're young still, 8, 6, and 4, and we talk very openly that they have a dad in heaven and a dad at home. My husband adopted my 2 oldest sons several years ago, and then we had a third together. Um, they're just so matter of fact. They just have always known that I'm an entrepreneur, since they can remember. So I don't know what they think about it yet. Time
Okay,
will tell.
well, you will. And I'm sure your oldest will be very proud of the fact that it started with him.
Yes, I hope so. I hope they one day would love to work in the business. I can't say that I'll force them to, but I hope that one day it's something that they would like to carry on as well.
So, one of the things that I think uh, you have shown is you have what is called a growth mindset, and I've heard you say that. And you, as you said, wanted someone to give you that participation trophy when you showed up at work that first day back. You broke through the reality of grief and you pushed yourself. People go through traumas on a regular basis. Not all of them, as you mentioned, are known. Some are they're not visible, and it's not an exact event that everyone knows about. What can you tell these people to be able to get their own participation trophy?
Yeah. I think one thing that is so powerful to a lot of people, myself included, in those early days of grief, or even now when I'm just having a bad day, if I can set a really small goal for myself, like in those early days of grief when it just felt like I was surviving, um, the goal had to look a lot different, like eat something, or make sure you drink some water, and that's okay. People have days like that, and when you're having a day like that, you just have to take care of yourself first and in your physical body first, um, and then hopefully the next day, even if you're just feeling a little bit better, you set a goal that helps move the needle in your life, and that just could be making an appointment to talk to a counselor, not even, you don't even have to go, just get it on the calendar. Um, and, and then at the end of the day, you can go to bed knowing that you accomplished one thing that's going to benefit you tomorrow. And I think that is really powerful when you can even just do one thing that's going to benefit you tomorrow, today.
And that's key. You don't have to make a long list of things. It's the new year now, and everyone makes a whole list of resolutions, which 99%, if 99, not 99.9, it's just something they tell themselves they're going to do. And
Right.
then they feel bad because they haven't done it, or they joke about that they haven't done it. It's just takes one little thing. Take that one little step. It's just like an
Yes.
infant.
Mm-hmm.
You have young ones. I remember back in the day, and I have a grandson now. It's just that first step. It could be a very tiny step, and you get to pat yourself on the back. It's
Yes.
not vanity. It's self-care.
Yes. And it is, I am not a doctor. My husband is a psychologist, but it's also science, and what happens in your brain chemistry when you accomplish a task and you get a little bit of dopamine that your brain gives you, and it gives you the energy and the motivation to keep going. And so it's not just, um, I hear people say sometimes it sounds a little woo woo to them. It's not just woo woo.
It's
It's
not.
it's actual. There's something actually happening in your brain, that's positive when you accomplish those little tasks.
And it's true. And again, we're going to be repetitive, but people don't understand that really doing one little thing, even if you're getting up and you're washing your face
Mm-hmm.
when you've been sitting in bed or laying in bed for who knows how long, that one little thing, pat yourself on the back for.
Absolutely. Give yourself a participation trophy.
Now, we've talked about legacies. What, and we've talked about your late husband's legacy, which you've moved forward. What do you hope your legacy is?
That's a great question, and I have thought a lot about that. At this stage in my life, I would love my legacy to be that I was a great employer and I gave people opportunity to shine at work and to, work to their fullest potential. Um, but also, I have three little boys, and, I hope to be a great mom to them. So it's still a work in progress. I'm not exactly sure yet.
As it
But
should be at this stage of life. But
yes.
what I see part of your legacy is allowing other people to realize their legacy,
Mm, that's beautiful.
which, which is again, um, huge,
Yeah.
because so many people don't know what to think about what they're doing. And as we said, it's just the small steps. And I think with starting out with Small Legacies, the bank, and passing that along, and financial responsibility, it's just, gee, what a wondrous thing in what happened when you were looking for a piggy bank for your son, and you started a company that helps others do that. And now you have two other companies that, again, allow people to pass along their legacy, not just within their family or friends, but pass it along to people who knew nothing about it before and are able to pick up on something that they didn't realize they had.
Yeah. Well, thank you. That I haven't looked at it like that, but that means a lot.
Amanda, I congratulate you for what you've done. You're a model to so many young women, moms, widows, widowers, just moving on and being able to appreciate what you had and not letting it stop you from moving forward. And I thank you. Where can people find out more about you
Oh, thank
and your
you so much.
companies?
You could visit us at enduringlegacyco.com or check out my TED Talk on YouTube, my TEDx talk on YouTube, in defense of participation trophies.
Amanda, again, I want to thank you so much. One small gesture, one small piggy bank, and what you've done with that is trophy.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Thank you so much.
You can find us on all of your popular podcast platforms. And of course, our website, sylviaandme.com. Stay safe, stay healthy, and as always, stay tuned.